Hello all my merry makers and welcome to another Merry Making Monday. My name is Becca. If you are a returner, you know what's in store. If you're new here, thanks for checking us out. Merry Making Mondays are all about tutorials, me teaching you how to make something. This week we will be doing the knit along slash tutorial that we've been doing of the Yarnspirations Brioche knit. But before we get into that, in case you're here just for the Advent opening, we're going to start with that. Today is, of course, the 4th day because it's December 4th, or it's going to be when this is posted. Oh! Look at that. That is a beautiful peachy color. I definitely feel like we're kind of going in a rainbow-esque type of order. We'll see when we're done. Alright, so in case you're here for the tutorial, grab your knitting needles and we will be doing rows, the repeat of rows 7, 8, 9, and 10. So for those of you not familiar, this is my editing companion and row counter that you will see throughout this tutorial. And just to reiterate, this is a pattern by Yarnspirations. I will include it in the link below. I am not affiliated with them, but I do have permission from them to do this tutorial. And if you want to search for the pattern directly, here is the pattern number. Alright, so we're starting with row 7, which says that you need to do it the same as row 3. This is a knit row, and it starts off with, which is just a regular brioche knit row. So knit 2 together, bring the yarn front, slip this stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, bring the yarn back around so you're ready to knit 2 together. And then yarn front, slip the stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, bring the yarn back around to create a second loop, and you're just going to continue to do that all the way around until your beginning of round, which I seem to have lost my stitch marker, but it is right here. I'll meet you there. So we are ready to start row 8. Now before we do, I'm going to make a little tick mark so that we know that how many more rows we have to go before we're changing colors. Now there is no notation for row 8, which means it's just a regular purl row. We're changing colors now. The yarn comes front, and you slip the stitch purlwise while the yarn is front. Wrap the yarn around the needle, creating a second loop, bringing it back to the front so that you can go ahead and purl 2 together. Show you that one more time. Bring the yarn front, slip the stitch purlwise while the yarn is in front, wrap the yarn around the needle to create a second loop. Try not to drop your other loops. Oh boy. Where'd it go? And purl 2 together. Okay? And you are going to do that all the way around until you're beginning a round stitch marker. I went ahead and added one, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so we're ready for the repeat of row number 9, which is going to be a knit row. We're switching back to the pink. Alright, so row 9, you knit 2 together, bring the yarn front. While the yarn's in front, you slip it and bring it back to the back, creating that second loop. Then it says to knit 2 together, yarn over, and then knit again, and that all in the same 2 stitches. So that's our increase. And I don't understand why I'm having issues today, but this gives you a chance to show you again. So knit 2 together. Come on. Definitely having issues today. Knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit again, all in the same 2 stitches. Because remember, it's calling those 2 loops, those 2 loops, 2 stitches. Then you bring the yarn front and slip the yarn purlwise with the yarn in front. Bring the yarn back to create that second loop. And then it's just you knit to get 2 together and slip the next stitch 5 times after your increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're ready to start over with the repeat, which starts with another knit 2 together and slipping with the front while creating a second loop. And then you do that increase where you knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit again, all in the same 2 stitches. Yarn front, slip, bring back, create that second loop. And then you knit 2 together and slip 5 times. Knit 2 together, slip, creating that second loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will continue to do that all the way around until you hit the beginning around stitch marker. I will meet you there. Alright, we're done with row 9. We do a little tally mark, which means the next time we knit, we're going to be knitting with a different color. Now, the only thing that makes row 8 or row 10 different from row 8 is what happens when you reach this set of 3. So you still put the yarn front and purl with the yarn front, bring the yarn around the needle to create that second loop, and then you purl 2 together. When you come to that set of 3, you slip the first stitch with the yarn in front, bring the yarn around the needle to create that second loop. Then this single stitch, you purl just that stitch. And then the next stitch, the yarn is in front. Slip that stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, bring the yarn around the needle to create that second loop. And then you continue to purl, brioche purl all the way around, and the only difference is that set of 3, which I'm trying to get to again so I can show you. So there it is. So first stitch, you slip and make 2 stitches. Second stitch, you purl. Third stitch, you slip and make 2 stitches. And you're just brioche purling all the way around the normal until you get the beginning around stitch marker. I will meet you there. So I always like to end this way just to reiterate how to end a purl row, because it's always easier to show. Your whatever your contrasting color is just going to be kind of flopping in the wind here, so you're going to have to bring it up over your needle, and then you can purl 2 together. And that is the end of row 10 and the end of this week's tutorial. Alright, my merrymakers, I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial. If you did, please consider giving me a like. Feel free to give me a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Share me with your friends. Join me tomorrow for an unboxing.
Rebecca.
Alexa.
Here's...
Stop.
And in the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao!
Alexa.